All rise!
Sports Court is in session. Because it is August, we must be talking about college football. The coaches poll came out. It says that the Michigan Wolverines will start the year 6th, while the Michigan State Spartans will start the year at 14th. Who will end the season ranked higher? I gotta go with Michigan State. Let me just present you with a couple of facts. Michigan has to replace their defensive coordinator, their offensive coordinator, their defensive line coach, 2 generational pass rushers, and the best running back they've had since Mike Hart. All of that is gone. Because of that, I think Michigan State's gonna end up better than they are at the end of the season.
Well, you didn't even say anything about Michigan State being good. I mean, I know they beat the Wolverines last year, but they couldn't finish it. They couldn't beat Purdue. Michigan's clearly the better team. They beat Ohio State last year. They went to the college football playoff. That's a pretty big deal. Yes, they lost a lot of guys, but they replenished and reloaded. The offensive line won the Joe Moore Award last year. Michigan, they look really good. I don't know if Michigan State can say the same.
I'm glad you brought up that Ohio State game, Mark, because all of a sudden I'm supposed to care about what Michigan did last year. Just like you noticed, I didn't talk about what Michigan State did last year. This is a new season, and without all of those great players, Michigan has to go to Columbus, and they haven't won there since the year 2000. A lot has changed since the last time the Wolverines got a victory there. Meanwhile, Ohio State has to come to East Lansing. Spartans always play the Buckeyes better at home. Plus, the Spartans return all Big Ten wide receiver Jaden Reed, quarterback, and Peyton Thorne. But the defense is going to be better because it can't be worse because they were one of the worst defenses in the country last year and still won a New Year's Six bowl. But when you look at this Michigan team and all they've lost, doesn't that concern you?
No, it's not going to be easy, but I think Michigan has all the pieces. They've been recruiting well. Jim Harbaugh knows what he's doing. It's a hungry football team. They made it to the college football playoffs and got their butts kicked. And I think they want to get back and do even more. Like you said, last year is in the past, but they want to right those wrongs from last year and make it back to the college football playoff and win a national championship.
Overall, I think both Michigan and Michigan State end up in the top 15. So we're really arguing semantics here. But the bottom line is, if Mel Tucker's 2-0 against Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines, you got to pick Michigan State going into that game. And because the Wolverines haven't won in Columbus since 2000, it's kind of hard not to pick Ohio State against the Wolverines. So those two things considered, I got Michigan State finishing better than Michigan this season.
Well, Michigan made it to the college football playoff. I don't think I need to say anything else. They were one of the top 4 teams in the country last season, and you're getting J.J. McCarthy, Kate McNamara back, and I think J.J. McCarthy ends up taking over the reins of the starting quarterback and ends up being really good, and I think that ends up vaulting Michigan maybe into the college football playoff conversation again.
Now we turn it over to you, our very passionate jury at home. Head to the 13 on Your Side Facebook page to comment, and next week we'll highlight our favorites.
Last week we talked best high school football stadium in West Michigan. The bulk of the people agreed with me, Hackley Stadium.
Muskegon always shows up. Heath agreed everyone aspires to play and win at Hackley, regardless if you are a Big Red or not.
And Christopher looks at it from a different perspective. From a player's perspective, I liked East Kentwood, Hudsonville, and Granville.
Some of the best schools, especially some of those big OK Red schools. Others that got shout-outs, Bob Perry and Lowell, Hausman, Russell E. Erickson at Oak Ridge, and some Kent City.
Until next week, Sports Court is adjourned.